Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Voicing Artists' Original Characters. Now, we're going to get right into it today. Today, we are working with a character from the artist Little D-chan, pronoun she, her. The character's name is Neptune. Now, some history and universe for Neptune here. Neptune is a hybrid dragon-like creature that was made in a lab, and they were made to be a weapon. But as she grows up, some of those body parts start weakening, they don't function as well, and so the company that made her and planned to use her as a weapon make plans to eliminate her, since she is essentially faulty equipment. Now, Neptune learns about these plans, and so she tries to escape. She steals mechanical parts to replace her own body parts that are faltering, and she makes weapons that she can then equip to fight against the company. So this is more of a futuristic environment, a atmosphere that sort of is reminiscent in maybe cyberpunk or things of that nature. You can kind of tell in the way she's designed as well. I love the blue sort of glowing patches on her tail and on her ribs there. They are very reminiscent, sort of these neon colors compared with black, and then mechanical pieces for her arms are very reminiscent of a cyberpunk-esque style and energy. So that's really cool. We haven't been able to deal with any cyberpunk era things so far, so this is going to be fun. And I love these drawings of Neptune here. I really like her color scheme for one, but I also really like that she's in all these different poses. All the different action poses and personality poses really help give us a sense of what this character is like and the personality and the attributes that she might have physically, mentally, in her normal everyday life. And we also get a little bit of that because the artist has provided us with some character personality traits. So the artist has given the adjectives of clever, ambitious, sneaky, playful. She starts off very quiet, but she always speaks with confidence. She protects weaker individuals that are on her side or her team. And there's a quote that I'm going to read directly from the artist here that I really like in describing Neptune. She's like a kind of predator that keeps itself low and quiet until it gets to the prey and then snatches it. I love that quote. Sometimes you get real perfect one-sentence accompaniment of what a character is and who they are in their core, and I really love that description. It's a beautiful comparison, a beautiful way to explain how she should be functioning and the way that she works as this sort of being and lab-made dragon-like creature. So we're going to keep in mind that she is low and quiet until, bam, immediately takes what she needs, immediately strikes, is very quick, is very fast, is very accurate, is very deadly, right? Things like that. So let's get some adjectives that I perceive from these drawings. Well, of course, she's very athletic, very agile. You can see that in some of the poses in here. These two more fighting-like poses are very agile, they're very athletic poses. You have to have the muscles, you have to have the strength, you have to have the training. Because again, if we remember, in her backstory, she was meant to be made as a weapon. So if she's built to fight, they're also going to train her to fight. So she's going to be very strong, she's going to be very capable, and now that weapon is against the people that made them. So you reap what you sow. Even though she is agile in movement and clearly very fast and very quick, especially with that prey and then snatching predator simile that we had, I think she would be very steadfast and very sturdy in her will, in her determination. I think she's very strong-willed. And that goes a little bit with what they were saying earlier about protecting some of the weaker individuals. Often, if you are that protector format, you definitely want to have some sort of reliance put upon you because people are going to rely on you. So you need to be able to be confident, you need to be able to be sturdy, you need to be able to be a base point that people can fall back to and expect for you to do your job, which is protecting them. But I see that strong will in her face. In this beautiful image we have here, her face here has this unique combination of a bit of playfulness in the eyes and the little smile and maybe the eyebrow going up a bit, but there's also some strong energy here. There's a very confident will, a very confident determination, because yes, she's playful, yes, she's got some energy and some light in her eyes, but the poses that she's in, and this one where she's leaning backward, give us the idea that it's something quick that is happening. Maybe an enemy or something is trying to strike her from behind, and she's immediately turning and has this little smile and this little passion in her eyes to be like, nope, I know you're coming. You won't break me. You won't push me over. You won't break me down, right? So that comes across in this quick little turn movement. And also with this quick little turn movement, her lower half of her body is very stable here. You are not knocking her over, even though she's turning to deflect you and notice that you're attacking her. That lower half is stable. And that also contributes to that idea of her being a stable, sturdy force with her will and her determination. And it's coming out in this physical way. Some other words I said: valiant, dauntless, or fearless, both of which add into the idea that she's willing to fight for the people around her, and also that she didn't just escape, or she's not just running away from this company who wanted to use her and abuse her. She is fighting back against them. She's not just like, okay, peace, I made it out. She's like, no. You tried to use me, now your entire company gets destroyed. So that's a bit of the dauntlessness, the fearlessness. It doesn't matter that clearly they know how to make weapons well because they made her. They're going to face what's coming to them. They're going to reap what they sow. The other thing I would say, a word that I really like for Neptune here, is plucky. Now, I know plucky's a little weird. It is essentially a form of being brave or being courageous. But the reason why I choose plucky instead of the word brave or the word courageous is because every pose that she's in here has movement. Whether it's her hair flowing or her turning backwards and that quick, almost speed-like movement you can feel in the turn, or the actual fighting poses where she's coming down off of something or she's going down low to avoid, even the ones where she's a bit more stationary, where she's bending over forward, her hair feels like she just immediately bent and you snapped a picture while she was doing that, and the one where she's more in this like injured, maybe sarcastic movement, even then it looks like you caught a picture while she was moving her neck over and while she was reaching her hand over. Every single one of these pictures has movement to them. It has action to them. And this movement, this energy, this high frequency of her body and of her actions and of the things around her resonate to me as correlating into the idea that she's brave by using the word plucky. Because plucky in my mind is you're not just ambitious. You're not just going to get the things that everyone told you you'd never have and you can't do, but you're going at them with a smile. You're going at them with a positive attitude of like, no, I can do it. I know I can. And it's not ego. And I think that's why plucky is a good word here, because we might think if you're going at them that forcefully with that courageousness and that energy, that there's ego, that she's like, oh, I know I can win. But I don't think that's here. I think instead it's like it doesn't matter if I win because I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it. We're going. Like, let's go. I want to fight right now. I want to do it. It's more of an energetic, frantic movement sense that she can do this, which is interesting because that's almost a bit of an opposite with how she's sneaky and how the description we had, she waits in the shadows and then snatches really fast. So I think that'll be fun to play with the idea of she is clever enough and trained well enough to be silent, to be watchful, to be sneaky until the moment hits her and all of this frantic moving energy fight skills come out. I really like that for Neptune. So with all that said, we're going to move on to Neptune's neutral line. So what do we want to do for Neptune's neutral line here? Well, I think we go sort of in the context of she has maybe just had a sparring session where she's working with some of her mechanical pieces and she's doing some training and she is ready to fight. She's just about to get into it, or maybe she's in the middle of it and her opponent has had a bit of a pause and she's like, no, don't break on me. Like, we got good energy here. Let's keep going. Positive, excited, a bit more of that frantic energy side. So let's give it a shot. Come on now. One more round. You got it in you. Let's go. Let's finish this right now. That feels pretty good for Neptune. It's a bit of that excitement. It's a bit of that, this is a friendly person that I'm sparring against energy. She's got it almost like you can feel her bouncing on her feet like a Street Fighter character. That's kind of the way I see her 24/7 almost. Just bouncing on her feet. Her hands are up in the boxer stance. She's ready to go, but in a good energy spirit. Not in a, oh my god, I have to fight. Not in a, of course I can win this. Not in a, what am I doing here? Just in a, hell yeah, I get to fight type of mood. I like that for her. So let's move on to happy here. What are we going to do for Neptune's happiness? Good question. Well, I do want to point out for this that most of the drawings we have here, she does have some sort of a smile on her face. Now, the one where she's whipping back, we talked about a little bit. You can see almost like an open eye, open mouth smirk. The one where she's coming down at an angle has this beautiful open mouth on it, as if she's doing that motion where she's striking the prey right then. The one where she's crouched has a little bit of a smile, not quite, a little more serious, but it's relatively close. Even the one where she's bending over has almost a laugh, like, oh, you want to try it? Or, oh, you're gonna make a joke? Let's go. Let's find out how funny you are type of energy. There's always this sort of ready to be involved and excited to be involved. Even if it's for a negative thing, even if it's like against someone who tried to use her, right? She's very much like, this is the fight of my life. Everything I do is the fight of my life. It's the time to be alive. And I like that for her. So I think we're going to throw that into her happiness here. And we're going to make it as if she's in the middle of battle. I think most of these are going to be her being in battle. But that's okay. We love that for her life. It's going to be the middle of battle, or maybe directly at the end, where she is sort of doing this pose where she's landing, or she is coming down from on high, and she's excited in the heat of battle. She's like, there's nothing better than what is happening right now. This is how I want to live my life. So let's give it a shot. I've got it from here. You keep going. I'll hold them off while you run. Don't worry about me. We're gonna make it out of here alive. There we go. That's the energy we want from Neptune. I picture it as if you're playing a video game, you're in a battle, it looks really bad, like you're not gonna make it out and there's too many things. She comes jumping in from out of nowhere, takes out like 3 guys on her landing and is like, go, get out of here, I'll hold them off. And you're like, wait, but what about you? And she's like, don't even worry about it. We're making it out of here. You don't need to be sad. I've got this. That's the energy I like from her. That is her happy energy to a T. I think it works perfectly. It's not ego-driven. It's not, oh, don't worry, I can handle this, blah, 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 right? It's more so, I don't have any doubt. There's no doubt in me that we'll make it out of here. I've got this. I can take these people. You can go free. Cool. There's no looking down on the other person or the main character or whoever it may be for not being able to handle these people. There's no arrogance of I can do it and you can't. There's just, don't worry. Nothing's wrong. I got this. And I love that for Neptune. So let's go into Neptune's anger. Ooh, what are we gonna do here for Neptune's anger? For Neptune's anger, I think we want to go the route of when she finds out that this company who created her and who trained her and raised her is actually trying to use her as a weapon and then have planned on destroying her because she's no longer useful to them. I think that would make her very angry. And I'm debating a little bit about where I want to go with this anger, because all of her energy is sort of like this franticness and high energy, and when she fights, she has that, and we had the note that when she does speak, it's with confidence, so I don't necessarily want to make her desperate. I want to make sure there's no disparity, there's no too over-emotional in her anger, because I think that's going to take away a little bit from the confidence that she has. Now, the problem becomes, is her anger high energy, the way everything else is, or is her anger closer to our calm, collected, silver-tongued, sharp-teeth style of anger? And I'm not really sure. And the reason why I'm uncertain here is because if we look at this drawing with her different facial expressions and poses here, the one on the bottom left corner has her holding her shoulder as if it's hurt. And the face that she has here is a little confusing. It's one of almost disbelief that someone has hurt her, that she's in pain. You could even argue it feels a little bit like our more spiteful, sour-tongued, angry characters, where when someone does them damage, they're almost in that mood of like, you're gonna regret that. My only struggle with that is I think the you're gonna regret that type of energy when it comes to anger tends to be from a place of arrogance, from a place of ego. So how do we take that ego out, because we don't want it for Neptune here, but still keep that vibe of, oh, you shouldn't have done that? Let's see if we can figure it out and use this drawing here as a reference point. Nice shot. But I don't back down so easily. Ugh! It'll take more than a dislocated shoulder to stop me from breaking you down. I guess we're about to find out how well built your weapons are. Yeah, I like that. It's a weird place for that emotion to be in. We have this more positive, strong-willed, high-energy character, so we didn't want to go too low with it, right? But we also don't want the arrogance, and I think we found a good spot for that. The image that we were doing was this thing on her shoulder as if it is severe, a severe wound. And the image that I had was when she first finds out that they are going to use her and throw her away, right? They're trying to eliminate her because they think she has served her purpose and she's no longer worthy to them. And that's what we said at the beginning we were going to do. But my idea was it's in that middle of that fight where she first finds out and she's like, okay, I'm going to destroy you for this. And inevitably she's going to lose this fight and go back to wherever the show or the video game would start. And then you play with her and go to the end to try and defeat them again. But this is that first reaction battle and she's sort of getting her ass handed to her. They dislocate her shoulder. She's in the middle of this like shit moment. Oh my God. She relocates that shoulder and is like, you made me as a weapon. You're about to have it handed to you. You shouldn't have done that because you're the one who made me and now I'm against you. And that was the energy I was going with. There was anger in there. There was frustration. There was that pure sort of hatred for what they have done to her. But it wasn't excitable. It wasn't over the top, and it also wasn't cold and calm like some of our other ones were. It's in that middle range. I like that for her. All right, lastly here, we're going to do sad. Now, what is going to make Neptune sad? I think we almost take this in a She-Ra type of way, where what makes her sad is that she was fighting for this organization that built her, right? She was doing her purpose as a weapon. She finds out they're against her, that they're doing the wrong things, they want to drop her, whatever the case may be, and she's against them. She's fighting against them. But there had to be connections that she made. There had to be people that she became friends with, that she cares about, that are still a part of this organization. And I think we go that route of a She-Ra Catra energy, not saying which is which, but we go that route of, why aren't you joining me? Why didn't you leave with me? How can you still support them? How can you still be on their side? How can you still do the things they tell you to do when all of this realization has come to me? Why hasn't it come to you? What I have learned and what I have seen and what I have grown into. And it's sort of that separation of when you break off with somebody that you really cared about and you just can't make amends. I think that would make her pretty sad because sure, she'll still fight them and sure, she'll still do what she has to do, but there's got to be a heartbreak in there first. There has to be a moment of, damn, I wish they would just open their eyes, right, and accept what's right in front of them. So let's do that for sad. Why don't you see it? You saw me. You saw them. You've seen them doing it for years, and yet you can't see it. What will it take? Or are you just blind forever? Ooh. That's a cold one. She's got some good lines here. I don't know why she's giving me like Overwatch, Cyberpunk 2077, like strong video game energy, like vibe from Arcane type of energy, but I'm really, really loving it. And it comes with the quick one-liners. I think that goes into her being clever, but it's also, she has this consistent protagonist energy, this consistent energy of, I am growing and learning and moving with a player, with the person who's controlling me, with the person who's doing these things. Now, this artist didn't say it's from a video game. It's entirely possible that she's meant to be out of a show or a comic, whatever the case may be. That's totally fine. But this is the energy that she gives me, is where we are learning with her. We're growing with her. We are doing all these things with her. We're having these realizations in the moment with her. And that is strong, strong player energy for me. That is us playing with Neptune today. This has been absolutely lovely. I loved going through her emotions, through her neutral state, having this cool character to work with where she's a bit of a weapon, but now she's on the good side and she's helping people. All sorts of fun things like that. So thank you to Little D-Chan for letting us play with Neptune. Make sure you like and subscribe, and of course go follow our artist today. I appreciate every single one of you. I love playing with characters and doing these videos. So we will see you next time. Goodbye!